That leads me into my next topic, which is dealing with this issue that we call strategic enrollment management. Some of you may have heard of that, and I know many of you are involved in it. It's a massive kind of a planning project, the activity of which will really reach a peak this fall, and I gather hopefully will be complete by around Christmas time. Is that roughly the plan? And in a nutshell, what strategic enrollment management is trying to do, it's a comprehensive process to attract and maintain the optimum student recruitment, student retention, and success of those students. And we need all of those. I mean, if we increase and do well with recruitment, but we don't retain the students, or if the students come and they're not successful, we haven't served the economy. So it's a process that looks at an individual from the time they first have an inkling about being interested in Fanshawe College, through to being an applicant, through to being a confirmed student, through to registering, through to attending, through to being successful as they move from semester to semester, through to graduating, and then ultimately getting employment in our economy. So that's a very tall order to be looking at that. We last year had a consultant in to really assess Fanshawe's strengths and weaknesses in this whole strategic enrollment management picture. From that assessment, several areas were identified as key to student recruitment, retention, and success. There have been an assortment of committees created or task forces, I'm not sure what they're called. And I think we do have an overhead on that. There, this is putting it in a very nutshell, those four groups around the outside. What this slide is attempting to do is that create what in strategic enrollment management is being called the Fanshawe promise. What are we promising to students? We're promising education that's relevant. We're promising pathways. It doesn't matter what your academic background is or was, whether you're from Ontario, elsewhere in Canada, another country, anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter if you're a high school graduate, a college graduate, a university dropout, a high school completer who's never done post-secondary education, a mature person who's lost their job or hasn't, but wants to discover another career. Any and all of those, we will have a pathway for you. A pathway to another career, to a brighter future, and that's what we want to promise. And that's done through links, of course, to relevant education, if the education isn't relevant. An institution that really supports your success. So that's the message to our students. And I like the bit about connections with people, because we've been seeing a little demonstration of technology here in this room, a very tiny little demonstration. In most programs, many of our programs are technology intensive, but it's really all about connections with people. I've always said technology will never displace teachers. Books didn't, neither did computers, and neither will any of this other fancy stuff. It's all about connections with people. And we are a people organization, and we will make those connections with students when they come in here, but then promote the connections with the outside world as well, even during their education, so that when they graduate, they have a greater chance of having success and getting employment that's satisfying, largely through connections with people. So that's what this process is summarized as the promise we're going to make to people, the thing that inspires us and them to work toward that and achieve their goals, the goals they want to achieve. So there are groups working on each of those topics, and we'll see what they produce by the end of December. So that's exciting. How am I doing?
Good, perfect.